Welcome back. This is part 3 of 3, so it's the final piece. And if you haven't watched parts 1 or 2, you need to go back to those first. The links are in the description. What we've covered is the recruiting engine and why most brokerages warehouse agents instead of developing them. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what a real development track looks like. The lead infrastructure that keeps agents from ever wanting to leave, and the operations and the culture systems that turn everything into an actual machine. Let's finish it. What does an actual development track look like? Well, it's not a training program, it's a development track. There is a difference. So let's walk through an example of one that we install with our clients. The first 30 days is launch. This is the foundation. We're talking about planning, we're talking about database uploads, we're talking about CRM setups, we're talking about business development, tools, skills, lead source alignment, daily activity benchmarks. They don't get to choose what they're going to work on. See, the system actually has that already baked out. It just tells them. And then you get into day 31 to 60, and this is where we call activation. This is live skill practice, scripts, objection handling, real conversations with real prospects. And then we measure those things every single week. And then we get into day 61 to 90, which is the production phase. You're talking about first 3 transactions, boom, they're locked in. Full pipeline review, done. Accountability partner assigned, check. By day 90, they're either in production, they've had a closing, or they're being honestly told they're probably in the wrong career. And look, there's a lot of people that this is just not the right thing for them. So months 4 through 12 is what we call the scale phase. Look, they get assigned to their new 5 to Thrive, right? The agent-facing version where building the lead generation engines. They have a coach, they have a peer group, they have a number that they're actually held to. That's a development track. Real estate professionals, you and I both know 87% of the licensees don't make it in this business. Don't worry, I don't have anything to sell you here, but what I do want to do is I want to impact your life. I want to change your life. In order for you to be the top of the top, you're going to need to do some things different, and one of those things is to become part of the Sales Warrior community. Subscribe below, it's free. Here's the math, because the math is always the path. The cost of replacing an agent who quits within that 1 year is somewhere between $12,000 and $20,000 when you factor in the onboarding. That's lost production, recruiting fees to replace them, the cultural drag, it's the whole thing. But the cost of developing an agent that doesn't quit is about 1/3 of that cost. Pay attention to the math, because brokers who don't have that development track, they're not saving any money, they're actually hemorrhaging money. And they're doing it while they're telling themselves that they're lean. More than that, they're demonstrating to the world that they are incapable of developing successful professionals. Think about this, right? That's like an agent taking a bunch of listings that they can't sell, overpriced listings, and all they're doing is advertising to the world that they can't sell homes. That's not good. So system 3 is lead infrastructure for agents. This is the value proposition. This is what you actually deliver to the agent that you recruited in system 1 and developed in system 2. Here's where almost every single broker owner gets exposed. You can have the best recruiting machine in the market. You can have a development track. You can sign great agents. But if your agents don't or can't generate business inside the brokerage, look, you failed them, plain and simple. You've overpromised and you've underdelivered. An agent that joins my organization sees an increase in their business by an average of 70.77%. On the other hand, those agents that leave my organization have a devastating 6.3% reduction in their business. That's proof that what we're doing is actually working. Lead infrastructure for agents means that the agent inside the brokerage have access to lead generation systems that they can't get on their own. And we're talking specifically about the new 5 to Thrive for agents. That's online authority, sphere of influence, events, farming, social distribution. It's the same 5 categories, but it's a different application. And it's built for individual agents so that they can dominate their book of business. All right here. Online authority for agents. It's the authority pipeline engine. We call it 8 because it's a beast. You got to call it something, right? And that drives inbound leads. Those are inbound leads to agents. Agents don't need to figure out paid ads. 8 already runs those ads. All they have to do is answer the phone and know how to nurture and convert those. And then you have SOI for agents, right? That's a CRM and nurture system, but it's set up for them. Not one they have to go out and configure. It's a database upload included in the onboarding. It's email sequences that are already built out. It's touch points that are automated, action plans. And then there's events for agents. Many of these are brokerage-hosted client appreciation type events or market updates or community events that your agents can literally just plug themselves into without organizing. And then there's farming for agents. This is structured farming programs, right? With the broker's support, your mailers and social templates and geo-targeted tools. And last is a social distribution for agents, which is brokerage produced, but not the corny stuff. Right? Not the corny templates, but they are templates and they're training and there's accountability built. So every agent's social presence is actually working. When your brokerage runs systemized, the infrastructure that no individual agent could reasonably replicate on their own, one that has direct proof of increased sales, look, recruiting stops being a sales problem. That's the unlock, and that's what we call Reggie. It's the real estate growth engine, and it's all in motion. Recruiting feeds in, development retains, lead infrastructure delivers, and each system makes the next system stronger. And system 4 and 5 then are operations and culture. These are the multipliers, and we're gonna walk through those here in just a second. These two systems, most brokerages don't build until it's too late, and then they spend years trying to fix all of the problems that not having the system created. Don't be that brokerage. I promise you, it's painful. I should know. I have made that mistake. So let's get into system 4, which we call operational clarity. And here's the test, really the only test that matters. If you took your phone, you turned it off, you went off the grid for 2 weeks, no emails, no calls, no Slack, no nothing, and you came back, would the brokerage be running better or would it be on fire? If it's a burning building, you don't have operation. You have you. You are the operation. And operational clarity means that every repeatable function in your business is documented, owned, and measured. New agent onboarding, for example, listing intake, transaction coordination, compliance, marketing arrests, whatever. It's all documented. It all has a proven process. If it happens more than 3 times, it needs a system. If it happens more than 10 times, it needs an owner of that system. And if it happens more than 50 times, it needs a dashboard that everybody can see that the owner can be responding to. Look, I learned this in 2014 when I was trying to scale to my 4th market, and I discovered that I didn't have any more time. My bandwidth was completely gone. And I didn't have any idea how to operationalize these things. They actually got done, and they got done in the right way because I was doing everything. And I hadn't written down a single thing. It was all right here. That mistake alone cost me probably 2 years, and I don't even know how much money. It was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And what I can tell you is you don't want to make that mistake. What you want to do is you want to build it before you actually need it. Which brings us to system 5, which is culture. Look, culture is by design, and most brokers think that culture is like free coffee, holiday parties, maybe a happy hour on Fridays. That is not culture, that is catering. Culture is what your agents do when you're not in the room. Culture is the standard of behavior that they hold each other to. Culture is what they say about you when you're not on the call. And culture doesn't happen by accident. Yeah, it's built, but it's built through reward. It's built through what you tolerate. Look, it's built by what you fire to. If you say you have culture, but you still have people that are violating your culture and they're still employed by your organization, I'm just here to tell you, you don't have culture. I have made every culture mistake a broker can make. I have tolerated bad behavior because an agent was a top producer. I have rewarded effort over outcomes. I have let the loudest voice be the thermostat in the room. I have confused sort of getting along with leadership, making everybody happy with leadership. Here's how I fixed it. Are you ready? Standards, non-negotiables. They're a short list. I'm not talking about 25 things. I'm talking about 5 to 7 items max of the behaviors and standards that are not optional in your brokerage. These are not aspirations. Not we hope our agents will be. No, these are required, they're enforced, and they've got consequences to them. Look, when you have non-negotiables, I'm just here to tell you recruiting changes because I promise you this is true. The right agents, they're looking. They want standards. They want to be in a place with standards. They're exhausted from being in places without any of them. And here's a bonus. Here's a little pleasant surprise that you're going to get. The wrong agents, they kind of vote themselves off the island. They self-select out. And that's a feature of holding to standards. It's not a bug of them. Culture and operations together are what turn a brokerage from a job, which is probably what most of you have, into an asset. It's literally the force multiplier. That's how a brokerage becomes something that's worth selling or worth keeping. But those are the 5 systems. You've got the recruiting lead engine, you've got the agent development, you've got the lead infrastructure, and you've got operations and culture. The question every broker asks me is, Todd, where do I start? And here's the answer. And it's got to be in this order. This is not a negotiation. This is how you have to start. Number 1, you got to start with recruiting first, always recruiting. Because if you don't recruit, you actually don't have a brokerage. You have a asset that is literally liquidating. It's dying so slowly that you don't even know that you're dying. And there is no such thing as being in a holding pattern. You are either growing or you are going. And the first job of the broker, the owner, is to fill the top of the funnel. Build the 5 engines, run them simultaneously, and stop fishing and start recruiting. Boom. Number 2 is your development. You've got to do this simultaneously though. I cannot stress this enough. Most brokers, they go hard on the recruiting side, but then they don't do anything on the development. And they sign agents and then they lose those agents very quickly. And they wonder what in the heck just happened. You don't have a recruiting problem. What you have is you have a retention problem dressed up as a recruiting problem because the development track isn't there simultaneously. And so you've made all of these promises and then you're not holding to those promises. That doesn't scale. And then 3 is your lead infrastructure for agents. That's the 3rd one, and it's 3rd for a reason. That's the reason that they stay. This is what makes you sort of the inevitable broker when somebody's looking. When your lead infrastructure outperforms what agents can build on their own, and that's exactly what this does, they don't leave you. Ever. These are the ones that tell their friends, you got to be over here. Then your recruiting machine actually starts working in reverse, where people are actually coming to you and finding you. And then there's 4, which is operational. That's the multiplier, but you can't operationalize a brokerage that doesn't have lead flow, development, or value. You got to have that. There's nothing to operationalize otherwise. So build the engine first, then you systemize it. Make sense? All right, so then number 5 is culture. But culture is being built the entire time, if we're being really honest, because it's your behaviors. It's what you're doing. You are living to minimum standards, non-negotiables. And culture then just becomes the outcome of the 4 systems that you've built correctly. You don't sit down and build culture. Like, you build standards, you enforce them, and then culture emerges because, well, that's just how you operate. Most brokers I talk to right now are in one of 3 places. Some of you are what we would call pre-system, maybe. You're kind of winging it, right? You're personality driven. Maybe you're a great producer, maybe you have always been a great producer. And it just seemed like the next logical step was for you to start your own company or team. And now you're realizing that, well, being a top agent and being a broker owner is completely different. Totally different job. And look, it's okay. We've all done it. Most of us have done it. Where you're going to start is recruiting. You're going to start with the recruiting engine. You're going to build the machine. Look, you're already really good at sales. Some of you already have recruiting, but you have no development. You're signing agents, but you're losing them. I want you to take a breath here, and I want you to build the development track, but you got to build it right now. You got to build it with urgency because you are literally hemorrhaging cash, but you probably don't even know it. Some of you have all 5 systems running, but they're all just sort of disconnected in their own little silos. You have parts of an engine as an example, right? But you don't have an engine. You have all the pieces, but you don't have it. And that's where Reggie comes in. So the real estate growth engine actually connects the operating model into all of the 5 engines into one. And that's what I install with broker owners that I work with one-on-one. And it's what's available right now to a small group of brokers I can work with, but I can't work with a ton. So look, the last 3 years, they've been brutal, we all know it. The next 3 years though, it's gonna be really interesting because it's gonna be harder for brokers who don't have a system, but it's gonna be a huge, massive, enormous opportunity for brokers that do. If this is landing for you, if it's hitting, if you're seeing your business in this stuff, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to hit the like button, not because it helps me, because what happens is it tells YouTube to show this to other people that are just like you, other broker owners who need this. And y'all, can we agree that there are a lot of people that need to see this right now? The math is the path. Sides are not increasing. The agent counts will continue to drop. We think they're going to be below 1 million agents this year. Portals are not stopping. They are coming for your authority. And whether we want to admit it or not, buyer agency is under attack. And the brokerages that survive this next chapter, they're not going to be the biggest ones. What they're going to be is the ones that are the most built. So I do have an offer for you. If you want to run your brokerage, your model through this framework, you want to kind of see what that looks like and where where some of these gaps are so that you can address them, I'll jump on a call with you. Book the call. There's a link in the description below. Here's my promise. It's not a sales pitch. I mean, this is what I do. I have a job. I run a big ass brokerage, but I am passionate about making your job as a leader less painful than what it was for me. And so we'll jump on this call and we'll just have a working session. We'll map out exactly where your systems are, exactly where the gaps are, and what exactly you should build first. And when you book the call, as I promised before, I'm gonna go ahead and send you the full proven process, all of these, which are the recruiting playbook. All right. And you can have them, whether or not we work together or not. They're yours for free. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't take everybody. Okay, I take brokers who are ready to make a change. So if this is feeling like it's landing for you, if this feels like, man, he's speaking to me, he knows exactly where I'm at, then go ahead and book the call. But if you're not that, don't book the call, okay? I really am adamant. Like, I want to help people. I'm not doing this for the money. I have a big ass brokerage that pays our bills. I'm doing this because I have a passion to help you navigate growing and scaling your business with less pain in a shorter period of time than I went through. So look, if that's you, the link is below. It's the 5 systems, the one sequence, built in 2020 or 2010, tested for 15 years, proven in the chaos of the last 3 years. I can show you the receipts. But now, it's your move. I'll see you on the next video. That's it, the full 5 system blueprint. And if you missed parts 1 or 2, the links are in the description.